morning. I'm your host, Brenda Wade, filling in for my good friend Susan Sikora. It's that time of year when many of us are buying gifts with money we might not have. And here to tell us how to keep this year's holiday spending in check is financial expert Sharon Kedar, Bay Area author of On My Own 2 Feet. Welcome, Sharon.
Thank you, Brenda.
I love the title of the book, On My Own 2 Feet. There's a sense of empowerment in that.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly right. This book is written for all women. It's dedicated to all women, and it's about empowering you to lead the life you want to lead. It's actually not about money.
It's not about money. Oh,
no.
Interesting. What's the most important point of the book?
So it's exactly what you alluded to. It's that when you own your finances, you can own your life. And what we mean by that is when you have your finances in order, you can do things like choosing jobs for the right reasons, choosing partners for the right reasons. The whole reason we wrote this book is to enable our fellow females to go out there and do what they want. Reality is, Brenda, most people find personal finance boring. I find the details boring. It's probably the
right.
first co-author of a book on personal finance.
My favorite thing to do is sit around at night doing my finances.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we dish up straight scoop, keep it simple, so you can get your finances in order and go lead the life you want. So you don't have that stereotypical problem of too many shoes in the closet, like Carrie from Sex and the City, or all the examples we see.
Although Carrie may have the money to afford those shoes, but what about those people who cannot afford some of those gifts they're going out to buy this holiday season? What's your advice to them?
So 5 things. The first is, believe it or not, and I know this is hard for people to understand, but love is not defined by how much you spend.
And it is for so many people. So many people come from families where love was transactional.
Right.
And the whole idea is, if I give you this, it means I love you. People do get confused about that, so you're straightening them out.
You straighten them out, and in fact, by doing that, you're actually not doing a favor for your loved ones. The real way to communicate love is by showing your emotion and spending time. So if anything, Brenda, now is a time where you can use this downturn, this economic time, where it's actually in vogue to be cutting back, where you can use the time to spend within your means and actually communicate how you love someone in a way other than with money.
So how do you spend within your means?
Sure. The biggest thing, don't go to the store. Don't even think about going to the store. All the viewers, please don't go to the store until you have your budget. A budget does not have to be a 4-letter word. It really doesn't. What I mean is,
that word is spelled P-A-I-N, pain.
Exactly, but it doesn't have to be, and here's why. So, say you have $500 to spend this holiday season, and everyone needs to figure out how much can they afford to spend. You stick to that. So you say, okay, who do I need to spend money? I'm talking before you even go to the store. Uncle Joe, Aunt Sally, go down your list, and you allocate that $500 against all those people, maybe do some online checking before you go and say, wow, Aunt Sally has to have that sweater. I was going to spend $50. You know what? That sweater's $100.
Right. It's so tempting once you're out there in the store. Now, how do you resist the temptation? You're out there, it says S-A-L-E, and that word gets your hormones flowing in some odd way that every woman has experienced.
Yes. Okay, so first of all, this is not about beating yourself up, but it's about knowing before you go in what your plan is, and knowing, again, back to the first point, that if you're blowing your budget and buying that $100 sweater for Aunt Sally, you're not doing her a favor or you a favor. So remembering what it's about, and just back to this point about putting yourself first and leading the life that you need to lead first. Your loved ones want that for you.
Okay, so I'm going to throw something, and I can't resist this. All the viewers know I'm a psychologist, and I really believe that if what you're saying, I call that setting intention.
Yes.
So you're clear about your intention, but if you say to yourself while you're in the store, you have a little thought ready to go, and that thought is, you just said, I'm putting myself first.
Correct.
I'm committed to the life I want to lead. And when you see that sale sign, remember what Sharon just said, but also remind yourself, it's like a mantra. I'm committed to leading the life I want to lead.
Exactly.
I will not blow it financially.
Exactly. And let me just say, too, I couldn't agree more, Brenda, and we all get that pressure. I was just in a store last week, and so that's where you have to have that intention, know where you're going. I went in to buy a sweater. The salesperson gave me a jacket, an expensive jacket to try on, and said, just try it on.
Oh, yes.
It didn't even have the right price on it. I said, how much is it? Just try it on. How much is it? Just try it on. You don't understand. I work in finance. I'm a financial literacy advocate. Tell me how much it is before I try it on.
Right.
So,
because one of the things psychologically about selling
Right.
is they know if you touch it
Right.
and you put it on, you're more
Right.
likely to buy it. So
Yes.
what you did is so cool because you were able to go, I'm not touching it till I know the price.
Right, and that's
That
what
takes enormous strength.
Well, so that's what the point, to your point, for viewers is there's going to be pressure when you go in, but
Yes.
remember to stick to your plan, and you're not doing anyone any favors by not sticking to it. My co-author, Manisha, was just in a store, or rather a restaurant, and someone wanted to offer her the special, which sounded delicious. You know, and when she asked how much it was twice the other entrees. She didn't think it was in her budget. The waiter kind of scoffed when he said, you know, it's X dollars, but she didn't buy it. So stick to your plan and don't be afraid to ask.
Yes.
How much is it?
Yes, and don't cave into that pressure.
Exactly.
Because sometimes low self-esteem gets in the way. Oh, I feel better about myself if I buy the more expensive thing.
Right.
It doesn't help. It makes you feel worse at the end.
Exactly.
Now, what are the other tips to stay within budget in the holiday?
So the third tip relates to this, which is credit cards. If you're thinking about blowing your budget, you see that sale sign, you think, oh, I really got to do it, just know that if you do that and it's an average card, if you can't pay it off, basically double the cost of what you're buying.
Wow.
And it's really not worth it.
Wow.
We're as bold as to say credit card debt is as addictive as drugs
Yes.
and basically the equivalent of a loan shark. So
I couldn't agree with you more.
Okay.
And next tips?
Be creative. So if you don't have the money to spend for a certain thing, use your time. Babysit, cook, be creative with your gifts. Again, it's not about the dollars you spend. The last one is just be honest with yourself. Stick to your intention and be honest with yourself.
Oh, Sharon Kedar, great tips. And the book, On My Own 2 Feet, is a wonderful, empowering book for young women. And we want to let everyone know that you can see Sharon Kedar in person at the Commonwealth Club on Wednesday, January 14th at 6:30 p.m. And for more information, log on to commonwealthclub.org. Thanks so much, Sharon Kedar, for joining us and keeping us sane financially in the holidays. Stay with us because there's lots more.